My name is Mirza Baig, and this video is part of an assessment task for GSOE 9011. The topic of my proposal is how does human factor impact customer-centered design? And the area of interest that we've picked is the central station at Sydney. What is human factors? Human factors involves including people in the early phases of projects and taking their view in designing projects. There are two basic approaches to work in the human factor. One is you've got to work collaboratively with the stakeholders, and the other is you've got to work collaboratively with the designers and architects. How does a human factor approach technically works? So human factor approach is an iterative, which means that you gather data, you bring in, you process it, and then you find new avenues of improvement, and then you go back and then you collect more data with better results. And then it's integrated. Now, what does integrated mean? Integrated means that you've got to basically include all your design partners, architects, end users, and your main stakeholders into the integration process and into the designing process. There are basically 5 levels of an human factor integration. The first is we've got to define a context. Now in context, we've got to basically define what the project is and how does human factor involve in that project. The second phase is that we've got to define the key stakeholders for the projects. The third process is that we've got to analyze all the data that comes in, which includes consultation meetings, community awarenesses, etc. The fourth process is that all the information that gets gathered gets reported and gets identified. Now this might include identification of hazards and any other operational needs. And the last phase is that whatever data has been gathered needs to be shared and lessons learned needs to be done in a way that everybody is inclusive. Now, coming back to the human factor integration approach, how does the sources to be explored, right? So the first thing is that the human factor needs to include the end users and key stakeholders through stakeholder consultations. Now, this might include online forms, surveys, going and meeting them one-to-one, community engagements, etc. Then lessons learned workshop needs to happen, which should involve designers, architects, all the representation from architecture team and safety assurance teams. In the end, I would want to say that human factor integration is probably imperative and is very critical to a successful project. The more early you involve human factor, the better it is for the project in the long run. And eventually, the end users are the one who would be using it, so their input needs to go in the design phase. Thank you so much.